Well, welcome back, everyone. Craft Academy is fabulous because it means that you get to watch the lessons in the comfort of your own home. And I love the idea of learning while I've got my feet up, I've got my slippers on, actually got a cup of tea, and of course, I'm working at the pace that I want to work. You could even craft along at home if you chose to. Now, what we're doing now is we wanted to, I know you're passionate about graphics and particularly perspective. I'll have to just tell you, Nancy and I had a whole conversation about a picture that was in a hotel.
We did.
Actually,
we did. In Germany.
Was it it was in Germany. And the conversation went something like this. Nancy, I don't think that building on the corner's in perspective, do you? And she went, it is. And then she stood up and she looked at she went, it's not. She said, do you know that window in the top corner on that building on the left? That's not in right, that perspective's not right either.
It was wrong. It was
She
all
said,
wrong.
I think the roof isn't right. I said, oh, you're right. She said, mind you, the arch at the bottom, that is. And it was a whole conversation about perspective. Now, you're probably sitting at home thinking, what are they talking about? But perspective's very important in crafting because, well, Nancy, I'll let you tell us a bit more about it.
Well, it's just, when we're doing it in our cards, it's really all about making a little bit more detail. It's about a little bit more definition. So it's so easy to do. Yeah. It's really easy to do. It's all about foam pads and pop-ups, etc.
We're actually going to show you how to do it. So you've chosen character dies to do this with. Yeah. Because I guess they are one of the things that it's easiest to relate to because you think about a person in the distance and a person walking towards you and the person stood talking next to you. So it's a good way of us being able to explain some of it. So, Nancy, where do what would be your first choice of medium to create depth and dimension?
Foam tape. Straight away, I would use foam tape.
Right.
Because, so let's pop this over there just for a minute.
Okay. Yep.
Okay. So this is what I would be looking at. I would look at a card like this. And I've got my three favourite characters at the moment. So we've got George and Olivia, and we've got Bella as well. Now, looking at this, to get sort of, I'm thinking, how am I going to put all of these characters in? Oh, I could do it this way. So she could be there at the back. He could be there, but it doesn't look right to me. That doesn't look right at all. I don't know what you think, but I'm not liking that. Yeah. So I'm going to turn that round.
Right.
And I'm looking at that herb here, and then maybe the two girls together. And actually, I just think that's heavy on that side because of the dress.
Yes.
So not keen on that. So let's try that. I don't like her looking
Facing
over
the
there.
wrong way.
That doesn't look nice. So I think over here.
Now, so composition is really important.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Now, it doesn't look like they're friends. That's the thing. They look like they've fallen out, don't they?
Well, so what we could do is move things around a little bit. So that's if I have all the three together. So maybe, right, okay, it could be that I'm going to lose his head in a minute. How about doing something like that?
Okay.
So she could there, and she could be there, getting really angry, saying it should have been me.
Now, we're not only talking about perspective and composition here, but we're making a story as well. But do you know, that is actually, you can see it does make a difference. All those different compositions that you've created make a difference. Now, I've got and again, just by having her slightly higher to one side, it makes a difference. We've got an example here, and I know Nancy wants to show you another way of you creating dimension, which we've got. So I'm just going to show you this example. And this one has been put onto foam pads. So we rather than spend time putting the foam pads behind, you can see. And she really does look like she's stood to the front. And it's the smallest things. It's the fact her skirt comes over the front of his trousers. Her arm is over, but he's on 1 millimetre foam pads and she is on 3 millimetre. So this one's more raised.
Yeah, that's all it is. I was agreeing.
and then this one, Nancy, again, it looks like one of those is in front of the others.
It is, and it's exactly the same thing. Just use different depths of foam pads. And if you've only got 1mm, then layer them up.
Yeah.
So put another layer on top of the bottom one, and you can keep on going as well.
Brilliant.
It's easy to do,
Okay.
which is what we could have done with that.
And now we've got another little idea here.
We have, and there was a piece of card in there for me to cut, but not to worry, I'll show you what I did.
Okay.
It's very simple. So, and I literally did this with by eye, okay? So you take your scissors. Now I want one to be to the front, okay?
Okay, how do you decide on the width?
Well, what I did was this. I thought I need it to be wide enough to carry him, to carry George. And I also, because of the colour, I was quite happy that there was a little bit either side.
Okay.
So, okay.
Because you planned that into your design.
I planned it into my design, okay? So that's what I wanted to do. I wanted him to be towards the front, the girl to be towards the back. Now, I'm just going to put Olivia in. And I was looking at what she's got here, and she's obviously got that big piece of where the train of her dress is. So I used that to give me my my piece here, that width, yeah. So all I did was I went in, and I did do this by eye. I just cut in, and I did the same on the other side, and then I did the same here. That's about 3/4 of an inch and in, and then you open it up, and you push them through. That's it. You just push them through.
And then have you gored along the edges of the top, or did you just fold it?
I just folded it. I mean,
okay.
Folded it and then gave it a score with either a paper scorer or your thumbnail. And then when you open it up, you can, let's turn this around now, and I'm going to put George here. So let's put a little bit of glue on the back of his legs.
So what we're doing here is we're talking about the principle. You're going to decorate it with a little bit more colour, maybe put some backing papers on. This is so that you understand the technique, basically.
And so let that dry. Let George legs dry. Now, ideally, what I would have done with Olivia...
George's legs have got to dry. That'll teach him standing puddles.
Yes, it would. I'm saying nothing else now. Let's put that on there. Now, what I would do with Olivia is what I did with the parcel bow, and that the lattice bow rather, and that is to mat the bottom of her dress onto cardstock and then cut round it. So like I did here, to do exactly the same.
Yeah.
So then she's got a solid dress. Okay?
Yeah.
But I didn't. But I can still stick her down.
Yeah.
Just to give you the idea. But this is, as I said, it's all about showing you technique, and then you are going to have the fun of choosing your dyes, which ones you're going to use, how you're going to treat them, whether you're going to colour them, whether you're going to use regular cardstock, whether you fancy glittering them, gilding them. So many ways to use them. Pop that on there. Okay. So once that's dry, there we go. There he is. And she needs to dry, but it's just to show you, okay?
So you can see the difference in the depth and dimension.
And of course that will, once that's dried, that will fold down. Oh, he's popping out a little bit, but that will be fine. There we go. It's cute, isn't it?
Very cute.
I do like that, and I think it's a clever way to do them. But imagine having a nice scene at the back that you've already crafted. Maybe you've done it with inks, maybe you've got a CD.
And Nancy, what do we do about this bit?
Well, what I would do is get another, actually a card front.
So would that
would do it. So this is really like an insert, and then that would go in there.
Right.
Okay. And it covers it all up.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Yeah, fabulous. Top tips there.
There
great.
he is. Look.
And really, has he popped out again?
He's popped out.
There, look at that. He's actually looking over. Do you know, he's watching you at home. He said, I can do this, he said. You know, he wants to be part of Craft Academy. Do you? Is that what's happening? Do you know, he's just literally, looks like he's looking out over a wall, doesn't he? Oh, well, do you know, George, your heart's bleeding. There, she's walking off. She's on her way home. Oh, no, she's left the ball and actually left